Hello, what happens now that Donald Trump has been held in contempt of court by Judge Bubblehead? Get all the facts straight before you talk. High treason has been committed against the executive branch of the United States of America moments ago by Judge Bubblehead. Let me tell you the story before other people try to convince you that Donald Trump has broken the law. You're about to get the truth right now. A few years ago, the Supreme Court made a ruling against Joe Biden's student debt relief program. Joe Biden circumvented their order. In other words, he got around it with a legal loophole. In other words, he defied the order. When Judge Bubblehead demanded that the executive branch, which they have no power over, by the way, that the executive branch return the Venezuelan M16 criminals, Donald Trump did not defy the order. He did exactly what Joe Biden did. He found a way around it. How so? Because the criminals were already in the air. They were out of U.S. airspace. Donald Trump did not defy the order, no more than Joe Biden did. And yet they both did, but they didn't. You understand, right? So now this judge ruled today that Donald Trump is in contempt of court. And I hope and pray to God Donald Trump stays in contempt of court. Why? Because the United States of America is operated by three co-equal branches of government, the judiciary being the least powerful of all three. So much for co-equal, correct? This nation voted for a man that would deport criminals and illegal aliens. We voted for that. Duly elected a president. We didn't just vote for a man, we voted for his agenda. Part of that agenda was what? We're going to round them up, ship them out. What did we do? We voted yes, let's do it. So now that President Trump does what we voted for him to do, we have one lone man, a tyrant. You see, they accuse Donald Trump of being a tyrant. Donald Trump's doing what he was elected to do. But I will show you what a tyrant is. A man, unelected, in a black robe, that stands up to all of the nation and declares his will upon the whole nation. That's tyranny. The tyrant here is the judge, and he has committed high treason against the executive branch of the United States government. And I can promise you Donald Trump will not comply, and neither would I. And I pray to God he doesn't get a weak backbone and comply with this tyrant. No, here's what he needs to do. This judge has committed high treason. I just looked up the penalty for treason against the presidency. You don't want to know what the consequences of treason are. But I promise you, Donald Trump is no more in contempt of court than anything in the world. Why? A court issued their order. The president did not defy it. It was out of his hands. Therefore, he's not in contempt of court, no matter what Judge Bubblehead says. So, President Trump, if this message gets to you, stay in contempt, because there's absolutely nothing they can do to you. Nothing. They've made their ruling. Now let them enforce it. You are doing what you were duly elected to do. The President of the United States of America is not run by a man in a robe unelected. The only tyrants in this nation are rogue judges that defy the will of this nation. We showed you our will at Election Day. We voted, book 'em and book 'em out. And that's what the president did. And they want to scream about Donald Trump not obeying a judge's order while they defied the entire Supreme Court on student debt relief programs. Now, they will tell you they didn't defy the order. We just found ways to work around it within the legal framework. What do you think President Trump did? The order was made when the prisoners were no longer under the jurisdiction of the United States. There was nothing he could do. It was over. It was done. And he needs to be tried for treason, for putting contempt against the executive branch, an equal branch of government. Well, you made your ruling, Bubblehead. Now enforce it. But you can't, can you? No. Because James Madison said you're powerless without the executive branch. Bunch of dummies.